Ever since Kyle and I started gardening, I've always wanted to plant garlic, but never got to it because you're supposed to do it towards the end of the harvest season, before the first frost. And I didn't think I was going to get to it this year either, but we've had this interesting stretch of 70-degree weather in November, so we got some local garlic, and I was researching how you're supposed to put them in the ground, and I guess you just use your hand and you plant them thumbs length deep and hands width apart. The carrots didn't grow too big in here this year because of the drought, and then we weren't here enough to water them. I am going to plant more carrots next year in a different spot. So I'm just going to take a couple cloves of garlic. You want to keep as much of the casing on as possible, and let's see how many I can fit in here. Recently, 2 of my friends got married on a stunning hilltop farm in what felt like the middle of nowhere, and it was a breathtaking experience. I got to help decorate a bit, and when things were ready, we all really soaked in the magic of the moments and had so much fun together for a couple of days. Aww. Perfect. A week or 2 later, we started easing back into cabin work and finally gathered more barn board from an old shed down the road. Every time it spooked me when it came off, and then I ran. And then we finally cleaned off the porch, which hasn't been touched since last year in the fall when we were still nailing in cedar shakes outside, which we will come back to. We just need to prioritize the inside so we can move our stuff in. And then as Kyle started installing the ceiling and walls in the shed connected to the cabin, I began putting up boards on one of the walls that touches the kitchen. And for those 2 walls, we're using white shiplap, 1 to brighten the space and 2 to move it along. Using barn board is incredibly time-consuming, from gathering to prepping to nailing in, so this works out really great.
Oh shit.
What?
You should have been pushed this way. There's a huge crack.
Shit. What do we do? Yeah.
And end up damaging all the boards around it.
We can't leave the one exposed one like that. Today I prepared some rosemary water for my hair and scalp. After I finish showering up and washing and rinsing my hair out, I will use this as a final rinse. Rosemary water, which you can also do this with oil too, but rosemary water is really nourishing, it's nutrient dense, it improves circulation on your scalp. Also, if you have dandruff, it's got antifungal properties, so it can help with that. The list goes on and on. If you wanted to do a leave-in treatment, you could infuse the rosemary in an oil and allow it to soak in and penetrate for a while before rinsing it out. Really, it's as simple as making tea. You put a few sprigs of rosemary in with the water. You do want to do a good handful and allow that to steep for 4, 5, 6 hours, and then you can strain it, and you want to let it cool down too so you're not putting hot water on your head. And I am going to save some of it. I'll probably get 2 uses out of this, and yeah, I just apply it right to my hair and scalp after I finish up in the shower. Okay, so refreshing. Little bits at a time. I'm finally starting to get to the different harvests from this year, and different herbs and botanicals that I've been wanting to infuse are starting to get infused. It's been taking a bit longer than anticipated, but I feel like it kind of fits in with the point in the year that we're at. This is for my Nourish Skin Soak. It is very concentrated with rose, chamomile, and calendula, soaked in vegetable glycerin, going to be really amazing and hydrating for the skin. And I will let this sit in my windowsill and shake it once a day until it's ready. Yeah, I can really feel the seasonal shift coming on. The days are getting colder, the sunshine's more brief throughout the day, local ponds are freezing, nightfall comes on very rapidly, and we're easing into those rituals of getting the fire going when we're at the cabin and making warmer meals like stews, things that are more hearty. I have such a strong urge to slow down, and I've been spending more time with the family. That always comes on with the holidays. We had a really soul-touching Thanksgiving. It's always amazing to have everyone together, all practicing gratitude and enjoying each other's presence. I remember hearing that seasons serve as a great way to self-regulate, and that we must remember we too are creatures of seasonality, that we aren't this different entity than nature and animals. We're a part of it, we're right in it. And I find this really accurate and reliable. Winter functions as a period of hibernation and a time to slow down, or at least knock back the pace of external work. In the modern world, it's becoming increasingly difficult to halt anything, and as a result, we may neglect that yearning to relax and reflect and take time to nurture ourselves. Oftentimes the holidays come up and it causes this sense of chaos. We need to be buying presents for people and going crazy over all of the festivities, and we end up pushing through any weariness we're feeling, and this can lead to burnout and anxiety. I'm no stranger to it. I fall into it too. Kyle and I work constantly. We have different ways we try to make money and are also trying to build out a whole entire cabin on our own. Feels like there's never-ending to-do lists in different parts of life, where it feels like if you're not constantly working, you're not benefiting yourself, and that you're slacking at your goals or not accomplishing enough. It's so crucial to take moments to reclaim your stillness and tranquility. And this year, as the cold comes in and the first calendar day of winter approaches, I want to be more okay with surrendering to the flow of nature and observing how it starts to bring about different alterations in my life and my emotional and physical well-being, even if not constantly. Just having the intention to try and remember that and practice it a few times a week, I think it will be really beneficial.